Last year, when I reviewed the Galaxy Watch 4 quite negatively, I had a lot of negative comments and a lot of dislikes on that video, and I think I know why. A lot of Galaxy fans are just looking for a great alternative to the Apple Watch that they can say, hey, this is just as good as the Apple Watch, if not better. And in many ways, I think the Galaxy Watch actually is better than the Apple Watch. But it doesn't quite stand up in all scenarios. And I found that despite being an Android fan, the Apple Watch actually solved my use case a little bit better. But now's another year, and this is the Galaxy Watch 5. A lot of folks have said it was just an iterative step up from the Galaxy Watch 4, but this might be the one watch that I'm willing to give up my Apple Watch for. Let's talk about why. This is InnoIso, and this is the Galaxy Watch 5 review. First, let's talk about this. This is my Galaxy Watch 5, which is the smaller 40mm model. In previous years, I had the larger model, and notably have always had problems with the Galaxy Watch being comfortable on my wrist. This year, for the most part, that's not the case. Now, I went with this kind of sport band that mirrors the Nike watch bands for the Apple Watch, and it's been very, very breathable and comfortable. I wish it was a little bit more flexible so it kind of stretch around my wrist a little bit more, because sometimes I still feel a little bit of tightness in my wrist, but not nearly as much as I did with my Galaxy Watch 4. Samsung is giving a lot more flexibility when ordering your Galaxy Watch than previous years for choosing your band. And while I did have to pay an extra like 15 or 20 bucks for this extra band, since it came with my pre-order of my Galaxy phones, it ended up being a substantial discount and a great solution. I really wish Samsung gave you the ability to choose, more bands or just about any band on release, because that means that you're going to get the opportunity to try something other than the default sport band, which I don't think is always the best solution for everyone. Yes, this is a standard lug size, so you could hypothetically replace it with any band that you found on Amazon or Fossil or anywhere else, which is great to say, but I just found that the default watch band is the one that I go with the most because it's very, very accessible. And that's the one that most people are going to experience when they first get the watch. As far as the watch itself, there's not a lot different from the Galaxy Watch from last year. Now, I'm starting to look deeper at my Galaxy Watch 5 and start to see that the design doesn't feel as premium as I originally had thought. The sides of the watch are completely plastic, so the frame itself is plastic, and even above the kind of metal frame of the watch, there's a little plastic hump that, actually holds the display itself. On first glance, I wouldn't say the watch looks cheap, but I would say that the overall design and materials feels a little bit cheaper than something that you'd get from Apple or even Google now. My primary use cases for the Galaxy Watch 5 was a notification reader, as you'd expect, or wearing it on my runs. Now, notably, one thing that I used on the Galaxy Watch 5 more so than the Galaxy Watch 4 was the ability to download Spotify playlists directly on the watch and then listen to them using Galaxy Buds on my runs, not having to bring my phone along, which is a huge use case. I tried to do the exact same thing on my Apple Watch, and it took so long to download the Spotify playlist, I was like, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of daylight. I need to just get on my run right now. And so I went with my Galaxy Watch to do so. The experience was really good. I only experienced a couple cutouts here and there using my Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, but for the most part, the audio quality was great. Now, I wish I had a little bit more control of the audio controls, but that's a Galaxy Buds Pro thing and not a Galaxy Watch thing. Relative to last year, the whole Android Wear experience on the Galaxy Watch feels just a little bit more polished. It was a little bit easier to get to applications, download applications, and use Google Assistant, which wasn't an option last year. That's a great feature, but I will say that it probably cut into my battery life a bit, which we'll talk about in a few. While we're still on fitness, I use this for tracking runs, tracking walks, the automatic fitness tracking whenever my heart rate got high, climbing up a few set of stairs or whatever. It usually worked out pretty well with a couple exceptions. Now, relative to my Apple Watch, which I wouldn't call the gold standard in GPS, but I use the Ultra model, which has the dual GPS functions, the Galaxy Watch typically was about 3 or 4% overstating the distance that I ran, which for me is not really that big of a difference. If you are like a runner and you want to have super accurate measurements of your run distance, then maybe you should check this against your phone or some other source to make sure that the distance calculation is correct. But I don't really care too much. There was one particular instance when I was going on a walk to lunch and I did the walk tracking on this and my Apple Watch, and this one managed to say that I walked a mile in like 4 minutes and 45 seconds, which obviously was not the case since I was just kind of briskly walking, but I sure hope at some point in time I can even run a 5-minute mile. It's just a bug, so it's not too big of a deal, but I wouldn't say that if you seriously want to track your fitness on this watch and you're worried about accuracy, then this probably isn't the best solution. The biggest downside to utilizing this product was the battery life. Now, I don't have a high bar when it comes to smartwatch battery life. I would have been perfectly fine if I could put this on the charger every night whenever I went to bed, because I don't really want to wear it when I sleep. But unfortunately, I wasn't even able to do that, especially when I turned on Google Assistant. Quite often, I'd be seeing the battery warning around 6 or 7 p.m. when I only had like 10% battery life, so I couldn't wear it through the night before I went to bed. That is taking it off the charger at about 8 a.m. every single morning. I wish there was some good combination between a small watch size and long battery life, but it just seems like physics doesn't allow it to happen. So if I wanted better battery life, then I should have gone with the larger model. Which you might be yelling at the screen right now, and I completely understand, but as someone who has wrist pain whenever I wear a thicker, larger, beefier watch, this was my best option. So it's the choice between a comfortable wrist and a watch that lasts through the day. I am very curious to find out where the Pixel Watch is going to fit into all of this, and I will be releasing a review of it very soon. So if you're interested in the Pixel Watch as well, I will let you know. But generally, if you are an Android user, then your options are basically this or the Pixel Watch. Yes, technically you can get kind of RTOS smartwatches, which I'll be reviewing a couple soon, or you can get a Fitbit, but none of those are going to give you the same full experience that you get on Android Wear, and I just prefer having a full Android Wear experience. Over the last year, I've seen more and more Galaxy watches in public, from the original Galaxy Watch to the Galaxy Watch 3, and then even the Gear S3 Classic. I've seen a ton of Galaxy watches in public, and it makes me really excited for the future of Samsung smartwatches. It means that more and more people are taking them on and giving them a shot, which I'm excited for. I just hope that Samsung's able to make the smartwatch for me, which unfortunately, even after this, which I was so excited for, it seems like Samsung isn't quite there. And so I'm hoping that the Galaxy Watch 6 is going to be that solution, or maybe the Pixel Watch will have to do so. Thank you for watching InnoIso. I hope you liked this review of the Galaxy Watch 5. If you did, be sure to let me know down in the comments. Or if you didn't like the review, let me know down in the comments anyways. Please like the video if you liked it, or that dislike button seems to work just fine as well. And get subscribed if you want to see more Galaxy content. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.